Chosen ones, awaken your soul. Letting the world think they were just like everyone else was the biggest deception the chosen ones ever committed. Imagine being a spectator in a game that you were unaware existed, but in which every action was planned out long before you arrived. What's the actual kicker? In reality, the idiots who believed they were winning were pawns, unintentional participants in a strategic masterpiece. It's realism, not arrogance. Fun fact: 80% of individuals overestimate their intelligence. Hence, the majority of the winners you see are actually blatantly ignorant. And the ones who were selected? They are letting everyone believe they have everything worked out as they relax and sip their symbolic tea. This is where it gets exciting though, because when the selected finally reveals their hand and the reality strikes, it's not just a plot twist, it's a mic drop. The once arrogant group looks about, bewildered, ashamed, and stupid. How about you? You may begin to doubt all of the winners you have ever looked up to. Playing stupid is an exceptional tactic that the selected ones have perfected. They realize that in a society that is preoccupied with demonstrating intellect, undervaluation is the greatest strength. They wasted no time vying for approval or attention. Rather, they read the room, discreetly took in information, and gave the impression that they were in control. This tactic disarms everyone in their vicinity, which is what makes it so brilliant. When people believe they are wiser or more capable, they automatically let their guard down. They divulge their ideas, talk too much, and undervalue the one person in the room who is truly listening. The chosen ones are busy forming connections, taking mental notes, and getting ready for movements that no one will notice, while others are busy flaunting themselves. This is about patience, not manipulation. They may monitor the dynamics of a scenario without any involvement when they pretend to be stupid. They know that the truth will ultimately surface, and when it does, it will speak louder than anything they could have said, so they don't feel the need to dispel myths or defend their position. What's really amazing is how this method makes people appear stupid without them having to do anything. It becomes more obvious who is truly in charge the louder and more haughty their rivals are. The selected ones don't have to demand respect or stand up for themselves. Their outcomes speak for themselves. It's already too late when people discover that the idiot in the room was actually the most intelligent person present. Without ever having to declare victory, the selected ones have outwitted everyone and played the long game. Everyone else is in a state of shock because it is not just intellect, it is genius wrapped in humility. As everyone else vies for attention, the selected ones always appear to be on the periphery, silently watching. What makes them unique is that they don't strive for acceptance or approval. The selected ones are busy studying the board, understanding every move, and identifying patterns that no one else even knows to look for, while others are busy playing the game. They may seem disinterested or even aloof from the outside, but they are actually planning everything. Their capacity to perceive what others miss gives them power. They obtain a viewpoint that insiders never do by remaining on the periphery. They can tell who is scrambling, who is bluffing, and who is too self-centered to see the wider picture. Their biggest strength is their outsider position, not a weakness. They've already figured out how the pandemonium will play out, so they don't have to join in. The most amazing thing, though, is how they move. They don't yell orders or make demands. They make thoughtful, nuanced choices that have an impact on the entire system. At first, their acts may appear inconsequential, virtually undetectable, but eventually, the entire organization yields to their will. They are the best at timing. They know just when to take action and when to wait. It's already too late when the main participants in the game discover what's going on. Without ever being overt about it, the chosen ones have impacted results. Not only is it ingenious, but their ability to stay hidden while tugging strings is transformational. They not only play the game better, but they completely reimagine it, leaving others perplexed as to how they failed to see what was always there. It's not as glamorous as it sounds to have known the game all along. It is both a blessing and a burden for those who are selected. Before anybody else even realizes they are in the middle of a game, they witness the movements, the reasons, and the results. The selected ones already know how everything will end, while everyone else is fumbling around in a daze, responding. However, it is lonely to have this degree of awareness. Imagine seeing others struggle and strive for power, believing they are in authority, even when you know the effort is futile because the system is rigged. People overplaying their hands, abandoning their allies, or destroying themselves without even realizing it are all visible to the selected ones. However, because the reality is sometimes too painful for others to accept, they are not always able to step in or provide an explanation for what they observe. The lucidity is a solitary one. The selected ones are frequently forced to hold back, bite their tongues, and act as though they are blind to the shortcomings in other people's ideas. They have discovered that revealing the facts too quickly only serves to expose them. People dislike being corrected, especially when it comes from someone who appears to be in the lead without trying. The ongoing balancing act of knowing too much comes at the expense of deciding when to act and when to let others fall into their own traps, as well as whether to speak out and when to remain silent. It's about surviving in a society where intelligence is viewed as a danger and ignorance is frequently rewarded, not about manipulation. Thus, the selected ones observe. They let the game play out and only intervene when it's absolutely required. Knowing the game isn't their only burden. They also have to bear the aggravation of waiting for others to catch up, even when it seems like they never will. Most people don't realize this, but the selected ones do. Tactically, losing isn't really losing. Every blunder, error, and moment of apparent failure is really a deliberate step in a much bigger scheme. They're giving up the fight to win the war, but to others, it appears to be failure. A mistake that knocks them down a few pegs. The chosen ones are laboring in quiet, while others snicker, make fun of, or feel better about themselves. They reevaluate, adjust, and monitor throughout these alleged defeats. They are aware that progressing straight ahead isn't necessarily the key to success. They are prepared to put up with mockery because they see how fleeting everything is. And sometimes you have to stand back to see the wider picture. They make conscious sacrifices. They focus on something far greater. Therefore, they let go of little chances, fleeting victories, and flimsy prizes. The chosen ones are preparing for their next move, while others are occupied with celebrating their fleeting triumphs. They like being undervalued, and they don't mind it. It allows them to function without being watched, and to construct in silence while everyone else is too preoccupied with gazing in the wrong way. Then they attack at the appropriate moment. Everyone else is surprised by how quickly the tables are turned. When the people who laugh the most discover they've been outdone, their shock is nearly humorous. The chosen ones use their alleged losses as stepping stones rather than merely recovering from them. Because they have always prepared for success, they make it appear effortless. The most remarkable thing is that they maintain composure while they are losing. Others stay calm in the face of terror, well aware that everything is fitting together precisely as they planned. The selected ones have a special way of showing others who they really are, not by their words or deeds, but just by being themselves. They are not required to openly bring out shortcomings or vulnerabilities. Their solid presence, peaceful mastery, and serene assurance serve as a mirror. Fools are compelled to reveal themselves in their presence. It's instinctual, not deliberate. An insecure person's greatest doubts and worries appear when they encounter a chosen one. Even if the selected ones remain silent, they are burdened by their shortcomings. The idiot gets more agitated and desperate the more calm and confident the selected are. It's like everything the idiot is attempting to conceal is brought to light by the presence of the chosen one. This has nothing to do with superiority or malice. Others are driven into a downward spiral since the selected ones don't have to compete, compare, or show their value. Fools are so accustomed to competing for approval, acting for attention, and displaying their superiority that they are unable to deal with someone who just doesn't engage in those behaviors. When fear strikes, they overreact by talking excessively, acting needlessly, or attempting to outdo someone who isn't even attempting to win. The fool's own fears ultimately lead to their demise. The selected ones don't need to do anything. They don't even have to participate. The fool's own behavior reveals their true nature. Ironic, even poetic, is how those who make such a concerted effort to look powerful fall apart when confronted with someone who doesn't even need to make an effort. The idiots ruin themselves. The selected do not destroy them. Most individuals fear chaos. It compels difficult choices, reveals flaws, and robs people of their comfort. However, turmoil presents an opportunity rather than a threat to those who are chosen. Those who are chosen stay composed, stable, and unflappable, while others panic and reach for stability or control. They see that disorder is not the conclusion, but rather the start of something new. Therefore, they don't fear it. The ability to recognize turmoil as an opportunity for reconstruction is what distinguishes the selected. They see possibilities where others see devastation. They are aware that holding on to antiquated concepts or dysfunctional institutions just makes pain worse. Rather, they allowed everything to collapse. Even if it means temporarily experiencing suffering, they have no qualms about tearing down anything that no longer benefits them or anybody else. Those around them are uneasy about their readiness to accept the mess. Even if it is based on a tenuous foundation, people nevertheless want for certainty. The selected ones dispel that myth, while others are uneasy about their bravery in the face of uncertainty. They are strategic rather than careless. They are aware that the only way to create space for something greater is frequently to break it down. They see chaos as a playground. It demonstrates their inventiveness and flexibility. They flourish in unpredictable times, rather than merely surviving them. They always come out stronger, solve problems no one else sees, and make choices that others are afraid to take. Their poise is what's most impressive. The selected move with purpose, while others thrash around in despair. They use no energy against the unavoidable. They move with it, making progress with the very energy of chaos. They ultimately change the terrain, leaving everyone else rushing to catch up, rather than merely weathering the storm. There is a contradiction among the selected ones. On the one hand, they evoke wonder. People are drawn to them because of their poised self-assurance, innate intelligence, and seemingly easy accuracy in navigating life. Their presence has an alluring quality. People want to be around them, learn from them, or just be with them because they have a quiet power. However, resentment is a dark side of adoration. There is someone who silently envies the selected ones for every admirer. People are forced to consider their own deficiencies by their elegance and competence, which frequently results in the unsettling realization that the selected aren't making as much effort as everyone else. Others start to doubt their own value because of the sharp contrast between their achievement and their apparent innate ability. The selected people and others around them have complicated relationships as a result of this dualism. People want to watch them fail, but they also want to praise them. While they secretly wish for their failures, they are enthralled with their successes. A persistent undertone that the selected detect but hardly ever confront is this mixture of adoration and anger. The fact that the chosen ones don't request this attention just serves to highlight how remarkable it is. They don't want to rule or establish themselves. They're just being true to themselves. However, Their very presence puts others in their immediate vicinity under pressure to face fears they would like to avoid. The selected are kept both feared and admired by this tension. They receive accolades for their accomplishments, but the minute they fall, others are ready to criticize or discredit them. The selected embrace this peculiar and frequently isolating role. They understand that to be genuinely remarkable, one must balance being praised and being misinterpreted. It's the only way they would have it. The chronology that the selected ones follow is entirely different from everyone else's. While everyone else is rushing for short-term success and rapid gains, they are planning for years or even decades in the future. They are aware that what comes swiftly frequently goes away just as soon, so they comprehend the transient nature of rapid satisfaction. They concentrate on creating something enduring, something so firmly established that no storm can upend it, rather than striving for fleeting triumphs. In a society that is addicted to speed, their best weapon is patience. They wait, watching, learning, and subtly creating the foundation for something far greater, while others rush to show themselves. They may come off as sluggish or even out of touch due to their purposeful pace, but this is all part of the strategy. They don't want to win over people with short-term success. Their focus is on long-term success, the type that lasts, rather than merely occurs. People around them are irritated by this strategy. Why the selected ones aren't vying for attention or hurrying to compete is incomprehensible to the public. They confuse patience with inactivity, failing to recognize that the chosen ones are always evolving and growing. Their motions aren't just for show, which is the difference. Every choice is deliberate. Every action is planned to fit a vision that is far bigger than what other people can perceive. And the outcomes are indisputable when their efforts are eventually realized. The selected ones have established enduring empires, connections, abilities, and legacies while everyone else is chasing their tails. Their ability to maintain composure under duress is what's most impressive. They are not influenced by fads, trends, or the urge to show oneself in a society that expects results right now. The ultimate disruptors are those who have been selected. Not only does their patience distinguish them, but it also makes them unstoppable. They like it that the selected ones are frequently shrouded in miscommunication. Allowing others to misinterpret them is a calculated strategy, not a sign of weakness. Since they are fully aware that one of their biggest advantages is deception, they have perfected the art of becoming unreadable. People are often staring at a well-positioned decoy, an illusion intended to divert attention from the actual game being played. When they believe they have identified the chosen ones, this strategy accomplishes two goals. It shields the selected ones from needless examination in the first place. People pay less attention to what's truly going on behind the scenes, the more they concentrate on their presumptions. Second, it grants freedom to those who are selected. Their ability to move unhindered, modify their plans, and attack when no one is looking enables them to operate in the shadows of misunderstanding. The fact that the chosen ones don't waste time rectifying myths just adds to the intrigue. They don't want to justify themselves or get acceptance. Indeed, they are aware that trying to dispel myths frequently backfires, attracting unwarranted attention and leaving them open to criticism. Rather, they keep silent and let people to think anything they wish. It is not by coincidence that the selected one is mysterious. It is a feature of their creation. It keeps people guessing, speculating, and making poor decisions about what to do next. They use this air of uncertainty as a weapon, a shield, and a strategy to stay one step ahead of the competition. Usually, it's too late by the time someone discovers the truth. The selected ones have already defeated their skeptics and accomplished their goal. Their resistance to be completely understood is a tactic, not a sign of arrogance. They have perfected the art of being a question that no one can truly answer in a society that is fixated on classification and labeling. For the selected ones, success is just a part of who they are and not something they work for. It isn't gauged by the praise or acknowledgement they receive from others. Rather, it's a personal benchmark that functions independently of external conditions and is an internal norm. The selected ones are already living in a condition of success because they have established what winning means to them. And no one else's view can change that, while the rest of the world becomes enmeshed in the pursuit of validation. The selected ones are already planning their next course of action, even when it appears to everyone else that they have failed. They understand that failures are simply chances to improve their strategy, not losses. In reality, they're recalibrating, learning, and changing when they seem to stumble, often without anybody knowing. The outside world may believe they have been hit, but in their own minds, their handling of the situation has already made it a win. Their strength lies in their disengagement from outside approval. Some people are always looking for the next promotion, like, or accolade. The selected ones, however, are more concerned with their own development and advancement. They are unstoppable because of their focus, which prevents them from being influenced by other factors or distracted by background noise. Their success is not a product of their environment. Rather, it is an intrinsic aspect of who they are. The selected ones navigate the world with a calm assurance because they define success according to their own standards. They don't need praise to know they're headed in the right direction, and they most definitely don't need permission to keep going. Nothing, no obstacle, no opinion, no setback can divert them from the route they have already won in their minds. Being in the presence of a chosen one is akin to being compelled to gaze into an unforgiving mirror. They create an atmosphere where the truth can no longer be disregarded because of their clarity, self-assurance, and unwavering sense of self. The way they carry themselves and live so unabashedly is more important than what they say or do. When they are around, it seems that every worry, uncertainty, and insecurity rushes to the surface, whether they want it to or not. This pain is existential rather than personal. The chosen ones accomplish the task just by being there. They don't need to point out faults or critique others. Individuals are compelled to face themselves in unexpected ways. Because they are standing next to someone who doesn't need to prove anything, they begin to doubt their decisions, goals, and value. Many people are unable to cope with the strain created by this quiet confrontation. They may play along, nod, and smile, but on the inside, they're struggling with an unflinching mirror image. Fascinatingly, the chosen ones don't purposefully inflict this agony. They are not there to diminish or denigrate anyone. All they're doing is living in their reality. The discomfort others feel isn't about the selected ones. Rather, it's about the introspection that makes everyone face aspects of themselves they'd prefer to ignore. The selected ones just live in their whole sincerity, which is enough to shake things up for many people. They don't pressure anyone to change. For some people, the discomfort is intolerable. To lessen the impact of the chosen one's presence, it is simpler to turn away. However, for some who are courageous enough to address it, this encounter turns into a pivotal moment. People are not just challenged by the chosen ones. They are compelled to become more authentically themselves, even if doing so causes discomfort. The capacity to completely transcend the game is what gives the selected ones their true power, not how they play it. For the majority, success means surpassing the competition, getting more, or ascending higher. However, it has never been about competing for the award for the selected ones. Realizing that the game is a distraction is the key. The shock isn't just that they know the rules. It's that they've already surpassed them when they eventually admit that they've been ahead all along. The selected ones have already seen something that others have not. The game is rigged and not worth playing, while everyone else is still focused on winning or outdoing one another. The prizes, the honors, and the accolades are unnecessary for them. The last move is a departure, not a triumph. They choose not to participate in the mad dash. and exit the board completely. This moment is often subtle, almost anticlimactic, while others are still vying for place. It's just a subdued exit from a game that has lost all of its significance. There isn't any grand unveiling or dramatic statement. Furthermore, the selected players are already well out of the game's grasp, leaving the other participants to wonder where they went. This tactic is so effective because it traps everyone else in the same old cycle of comparison and competition. The selected individuals don't have to provide any proof. They no longer require approval from others. They realize that understanding when to give up on a game entirely is more important for real success than winning it. The greatest victory of all is ultimately their reluctance to participate, their departure, and their quiet. The selected ones rewrite the rules instead of adhering to them. They silently function on a distinct level while the rest of the world is busy vying for recognition, attention, and immediate success. Since their achievement is determined by their own standards rather than by the ephemeral judgments of others, they don't require validation to realize their value. They are both feared and appreciated for their capacity to remain composed in the midst of turmoil, to use setbacks as opportunities for strategic planning, and to make others confront their own fears. They produce rather than compete. Additionally, they play the game to completely transcend it rather than for the prize. The chosen ones have already vanished by the time others discover the game, changing the terrain in unexpected ways. Without being constrained by the rules of the world they live in, they are the masters of their own fate. What makes them genuinely unstoppable is their ability to move in silence, their patience as a weapon, and their mystery as their greatest strength. What really distinguishes them is their realization that the true strength is not in winning the game, but rather in knowing when to quit playing it completely. The selected ones have already created their own universe, far from the chaos that engulfs the majority, while everyone else is still mired in the chase of success. And they have already triumphed in that silent, unsaid control.